Cult Lords fans? Here to do another movie review for you. And this movie review is The Triangle of Sadness. Which so I learned is the part of your face between your two eyebrows and the bridge of your nose.
Get a close-up in here. Get my good side.
Get your triangle of sadness.
Right. And they
yes.
They actually said that's why dogs, when they developed that, no other animal, by the way, only us, apes and humans and dogs have this, maybe somebody else, but they have that little, like, sympathy thing. And that's one of the reasons they think dogs are so sympathetic to humans, because they can go... Cats maybe could do that too, but I don't think they can.
Interesting.
So...
Very interesting. Well...
Everything gets sympathy.
Here to do it, so we want to welcome you in. Thanks. If you are a habitual viewer but haven't subscribed yet,
can't get enough of me, Cult Lords.
Today is the day, I think. Today's the day you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. It really starts with you.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And if you do it, guess what? We put out a trailer reaction every day. We put out a movie review every week. Plus, we got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. Comic book unboxings, music stuff. We got an interview that's coming up that'll be very interesting soon. So, yeah, stay tuned. But you only get that if you subscribe. Then hit the like button. And then tell us in the comments if you saw this movie. What did you think of this movie? Did you give it the same ratings that the Cult Lords gave it?
And on the note about subscriptions, I mean, it would be kind of cool if people subscribe, drop a comment in that, hey, I subscribed, I'm glad to be here, welcome to the cult, and we'll give them a shout-out.
Oh, okay.
Right?
We'll give you an on-camera shout-out.
We'll give you an on... Will you
subscribe and put your name down in the comments. We'll give you a shout-out.
Yeah.
So
welcome.
That's good. Yeah. Maybe it's better than the telethon that we're going to run. So.
Well, if you want to give us your phone number, we'll call you too and ask.
All right. Well, we thank you for coming in. Dane, we always like to start these movie reviews with a drink. What are we drinking?
A pertinent beverage.
What are we drinking this
week? We're drinking the Tres Generaciones Tequila. Silver tequila. Good stuff, supplied by his truly over here. But, this is, if you guys like your tequila, this is one of the top ones. But they do a great job. This one was 40% alcohol. It's got a nice citrusy flavor to it. We can drink it straight.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit of
tequila,
ice.
you can't really drink it straight sometimes. It doesn't... Want more than that?
No, it's good for now. All right.
Very, very clear, as you can see. Almost looks like water, to tell you the truth. But good stuff.
Salsa!
Yeah?
Right? Didn't it say salsa on there?
Salsa?
Salsa.
Is it salsa?
Yeah.
But
imported by Salsa Tequila.
And it's blue.
Yeah. From
the blue
Jalisco,
agave, I think?
Mexico.
So...
Okay.
Excellent stuff. One of these days we're going to do the Tres Capananos, which is the George Clooney one.
Okay.
And then we tried the...
Terramana from The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well...
Let's do this.
Let's do this toast to the Triangle of Sadness.
Got to put your pinky out. We're part of the Captain Steubing crew.
Out of the mouth of madness to the Triangle of Sadness. All right. So, if you have not seen this movie, we want to give you a warning. Spoilers!
Danger, Will Robinson, danger!
We're going into spoilers. Heavy spoilers. We're going to be talking about what happened in this movie. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, go...
Unless you're rich and you want to be spoiled.
Hit the pause button. Go watch the 2.5-hour movie that is The Triangle of Sadness. Then come back... and then see what you think.
Hit pause.
If you haven't seen it and I just scared you off by saying 2.5 hours and you know you're not going to watch it, then go ahead and just watch the review with us. Yeah. Maybe
we try to be entertaining no matter what, even if we're giving you spoilers.
Maybe our review will inspire you to not or watch it or to watch it. You never know.
I know.
All right. So with the spoiler reviews out of the way, we like to give you the Cult Lords ratings and tell you up front what we thought of this movie, and then work our way back and tell you how we got to those ratings. But before we get to the Cult Lords ratings, we always like to share the Rotten Tomato scores. We like to hear what the people out in the public, out in the zeitgeist think about the movie?
Blogosphere.
Yeah. So, Dane.
Yes.
What?
And I'm supposed to guess, right? Yeah, this is the challenge.
What do you think the common critic gave this?
The common critic.
Yes.
Well, based on the fact that it won, and I did not see anything, but based on the fact that it won like a Palme d'Or in the Cannes Film Festival and everything, critics must have treated this like their, long lost lover in some form or another. So I am going to say a 9.2 by the critics.
92%.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And then, what do you think the common folk thought about this?
The unwashed masses working in the kitchen in the bowels of the ship.
Yes.
I think they gave it a 63.
So 92 and 63%.
Yes.
All right. Let's see how your prognostications fare.
It's probably close, just a lot closer in the middle.
All right.
Go, do me.
So,
hit me. I want to know. I'm not looking. Don't worry.
Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, so the critics gave it a 72%.
Wow. All
so
right.
you're only 20 points off.
Yeah.
So.
I was thinking they were. It won a freaking award.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Must be the American critics.
The unwashed masses gave it a 68%.
Closer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
Only
They're
4
so
points
close.
apart. Yeah. 72 and 68.
Wow. I would have thought for sure the critics would have went higher on this.
Yeah.
But
that still qualifies for a fresh score because they're both above 50%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
somebody's very fresh.
Now the most important ratings that are available to mankind. I think the press will stop when they hear what we have to give this.
Right.
And this will be debated for the next week. So
I hope
what Dane and JR thought of this movie. All right.
Collectively, the Cult Lords.
You got your Cult Lords ratings? So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
What is it? What?
Too bad, so sad.
Call me Captain.
7,
9, and 7, 8.
We're getting very close lately.
That's getting weird.
I know.
Like you spying on my numbers?
No. I wrote my card out before you did.
We're gonna have to make sure we put that back.
What is that out in the jungle that you hear?
I know, every time.
Like in the movie, they kept hearing that at night, that sound.
It was a donkey.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right.
Did you forget that particular part?
You just reminded me.
But you're right, it made a weird noise at night, and then when he clubbed it to death, spoiler, clubbed it to death, it didn't make that same noise.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, so we got a lot to unpeel, because did you watch this with your wife?
No.
Why did you not watch
this? I was like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, because I looked at it, I looked at the case, and I'm like, okay, this seems like a serious movie, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch some of it just to see where this is going, and then as you had pointed out, like the first 20 minutes is like the model talking, the dinner scene, or the elevator scene, the dinner scene, the bedroom scene, and I'm like, there's no way she's gonna watch. She's gonna be sleeping so fast.
So I watched this one with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like went over for supper and my mom cooked. Said, "Hey, you want to watch the movie?"
She make the octopus and the crab emulsion as like usual.
No, we had chicken fajitas. So
fajitas.
Yeah. So
make sure you get some tequila with your fajitas.
So after about 15 minutes, my dad goes, "I do not like this movie. This has no redeeming value. This is a 0 out of 10." My mom's like, "Yeah, I don't really like this movie."
Yet somehow it won this giant award.
So what happened was, I think I spoiled them because a few weeks earlier we started watching Babylon, and they said, did not like this movie. And I said, "All right, we'll watch John."
Talk about completely two different beginnings there. One is all action with all the other stuff going on.
So I think they thought we were going to get out. They were going to get out of this. I was like, no. We're watching this whole movie. I have to review this movie.
I will bring culture to you.
Plus, I'm intrigued by this movie so far.
Yeah.
So
all right.
We watched the whole movie. My dad's rating was a 0 out of 10.
Well, yeah.
He said there was no redeeming value. Even though he laughed 3 times out loud. My mom laughed a few times.
He toughed it out? Or did you have to tie him down to the chair? Was he he was like the guy in Clockwork Orange, right? You had to pry his eyes open the whole time. It was like, no.
I just said, hey, look, if you don't want to watch it, go upstairs.
Not another barfing scene.
So Dane, so obviously you had some like to this.
Yeah.
What did you like about this movie?
I mean, I think the thing you really have to look at this movie is this subtext of
Yes.
the total social commentary on absolute rich and power versus the below deck people, and then what they did beautiful in this movie is how that completely switched around. Very quickly.
It's definitely a commentary on the wealthy, right?
Oh yeah.
You even have the Russian oligarch
Not bad, huh?
So what do you do?
I sell shit.
who's talking about capitalism, arguing with the captain who's a Marxist.
And an American communist.
On a $250 million luxury yacht.
So this is not, I kept telling my dad, this is not an action movie, this is not a sci-fi, this is not a murder mystery, this is a thinking movie.
Right.
It was some dark comedy to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off in scene 1 with the models. So you're looking at what this guy does to make his money. And then it goes right to him, taking his girlfriend who had just modeled too. She does the same job.
Go ahead, Sarah.
She does the same job as she does, but in this industry, this is where the women far out earn the
Right.
men.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And he can't even get a chair.
Yeah. He can't even get a chair. Yeah, he has to move to the
down.
back.
There's a seat way back there, dude.
So she far out earns him, but
Yeah.
yet every time they go to dinner,
Right.
he's the one who's paying because he's saying we're just fulfilling a gender role
Yeah.
here, and you're the one with the money. Why do I always have to pay?
Right.
Right. So it's a big argument about that.
And so I agree with you on all of that. Those first few scenes were huge commentary on like the sexes and gender inequality and you're making money but yet you expect me to pay, but then you said I'm going to pay and then you're not even you find out she ignored the check being put down.
I think that's kind of what I just said.
Yeah, right. And then the elevator scene
Yeah.
where he like confronts her. That was
Right.
I found that scene very. See, my problem with this movie is way too long to get to the point.
So here, if I was going to give some criticisms of this movie, the first one is way too long.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
God.
My gosh, cut at least 30 minutes out of this.
At least.
Maybe 45 minutes.
I mean,
out of this.
and to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure really there was a point to that entire opening sequence in the sense that why did we have to see what he does? You know what I mean? Like
So
they
I
drew
think
it out way too much.
I think he wanted to show, the discrepancies between the incomes of the two, and he's building kind of a base, but he goes way overboard in every scene. It's done too long.
Yeah.
Every scene is done too long.
Right. Oh yeah. It's
You
like
know?
almost like he like translated it from the director's like Swedish or Netherlands.
Ruben
Like he
Östlund.
translated it.
He's the
literally.
writer and director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kiss of death.
Yeah. You don't like writer director.
No
combos.
edit.
Yeah.
The only time. Well, what was the movie we just watched with the two writer editors? And we're like, this movie worked so well. It was, Dungeons and Dragons. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did a great
Sometimes Tarantino does a good job.
Yeah.
Most of the time he needs an editor.
So I think those were necessary, but everything was drawn out, and like everything could have been a little bit more tighter
Concise.
cut. Yeah, concise.
Like it needed a rewrite.
Right. Or it just needed a little bit more creative editing. And so then, now you're on the boat, right?
Right.
And so now they've been invited because they're like influencers, they get a lot of things free.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what was confusing because it went directly from the bedroom scene to the boat. And
Right.
you're like, well, wait, what?
Yeah.
They never set it up or anything like that. And then all the other rich people are on the boat and they're like, get in the pool, swim.
They show immediately how much power somebody that is wealthy has. Because all he did was complain about the guy taking off his shirt.
Yeah.
The crew member. The next thing he knows, he sees that guy is losing his job. And he's being put on a boat. And he's being taken
ironically,
away.
he was saved.
Probably the best thing that ever happened to
I
him.
know. Yeah, but he found out after the fact, like, holy crap.
Yes.
That was I'm glad I took my shirt off, rubbed down, and
little things, that's the butterfly effect for you right there. So he goes off, and then all these wealthy people are coming on.
Right.
You're kind of
completely abusing their position in the
So with a Russian oligarch, this is one of the things that this is what's implied, but I'm not 100% sure. Was the older lady his actual wife, and then the younger lady was his like mistress, like right in front, out and open?
I thought originally it was his daughter.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
But then later, all of a sudden, it turned weird.
Yeah.
So I think they deliberately like drew that way. But yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think
it was
that's what it was
like,
too.
I have so much freaking money.
Yeah.
And she was French, by the way, because she was once in a while would say something. But and the French are very much open. The upper echelon are open to mistresses and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
And then, but that guy was hilarious. I mean,
he was.
And did you notice, like, he had his shirt open at the table because he was coming, and then his wife was, like, closing his shirt a couple of times. And I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And they're, like, they deliberately went out of the way to be creepy in some ways.
But you know what? Obviously, the answer is, why does she stay with that guy? Money.
Oh, yeah.
Money. And that's what this whole
movie
is about, is how money can influence life in general and society, and
until a disaster.
Yeah, and then so it shows real, like, I thought it was interesting when the older lady wants the girl to swim, and then all of a sudden she says to the
she came up with a way to, like, man,
Yeah.
no, yes,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, yes, wait, you are or you're not?
Yeah, and then the blonde, like, stewardess lady, the head of the stewardess,
short hair,
very, very prompt, very strict. By the book. We've got to satisfy these clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and in the end, you all get a tip.
We all get a tip. And then so what was funny is, like, they're all cheering. Yeah, we're gonna get these huge giant tips.
They're like,
and then they go down like one deck level. And then there's all the
maids,
the Filipinos, right?
Yeah, they're like hearing the ba ba ba.
Yeah, they're the maids, the toilet cleaners, the cooks.
Then they go down another level.
Yeah,
and then there's
the black guy is in the engine room, right?
Was he down? So
yeah,
because I didn't catch that. I wasn't sure if he 100% was down there or if he was part of the pirates.
I think he was down there.
He was down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think later. Well, actually, people kind of were up because I did some little bit of research on the side on this, and it was like he was speaking Russian at one point, and I was like, that sounds
the
like
black guy.
Yeah, it was like minor stuff because he was talking to somebody in Russian, like he understood Russian, and so it was like they deliberately left him ambiguous.
Yeah.
But did you actually see him down there, or you just thought he was down there?
No, I thought he was.
Okay.
I don't know if I 100%.
I think it was, once again, there was a lot in this movie was choose your own ending, and it was like,
there was
that guy was like a pirate or not a pirate.
A lot of ambiguous stuff going on.
Yeah.
But, then you got Woody Harrelson, who takes top billing in this, but not in the movie that much.
Never argue with an idiot. They'll only bring you down to their level and beat you with experience. Mark Twain.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of the classics. Let's bring the big actor in, and he shows up for like 20 minutes on camera.
Yeah, he's only on about 20, 30 minutes of a 2.5 hour movie. So, yeah, he's obviously captain who, he's at a point where he doesn't really care. He's laying in his room, acting like he's sick, but he's just drinking. And he doesn't want to do this.
You hear the bottles rolling all over the place.
You hear them rolling.
They're
but
like,
he finally does
the
come
blonde's
out.
like, Captain, we need to have your dinner. And he's like, I want it on Thursday. She's like, well, that's not going to work. That's like the heavy snowstorm or whatever it is. And
but they made it work.
Sort of.
but here's the thing. So they have that dinner, which, all the staff, wait staff comes out.
Yeah.
Silver plated, covered things. It's like gelatinous, jello looking stuff.
Yeah, it's all high-end food.
Octopus, tentacle.
The menu would be happy to work there.
Some of it I thought, like the octopus I would eat. That gelatinous stuff I wouldn't eat. But, you see...
And then go ahead.
Woody Harrelson gets the burger.
So now we are serving some hamburger with french fries for the captain. And for you, we have something really special. We have some grilled and smoked octopus along with some caramelized lemons. And on top, our beautiful garden of flowers.
His comment was, I don't go for the high-end foods or something. It's a burger and fries. And everyone else is eating
I might have seen that and say, I'll take one of those.
I was surprised that a rich person didn't say, I'll have that. I was kind of, because he made such a big point of that. And then what? No one's going to say, switch me, I don't want this.
Now, here's a weird part of the movie. So during the movie, or during the dinner, a storm hits, a really big storm, which they had told the captain Thursday night there was going to be a big storm. Sure enough, it rolls in. There's like nobody up in the...
Well, I agree with you.
What?
I thought that was complete BS.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the point of it was like a $250 million yacht can like, you know, steer itself. So
well, maybe
fine.
so, but not
still,
during a storm.
It was complete, like, nobody up there.
Yeah.
Like, there was that many people, well, okay, lead this scene through.
Yeah.
All the throwing up.
Yeah.
All the, like, crapping in their pants, and then that one woman, and I read about that one woman, they're like, God, she toughed that out, because they had set up they had an actual... tilting floor and everything set up that was going back and forth.
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out, well, she was going to sit on the pot and then throw up in the bidet and then do the opposite. And they're like, well, that's not going to work. And as it started doing that, the more throw up was going on the floor. They're like, just let you do it. She toughed it out. She actually came, she was like, all right, let me just go back and forth, back and forth. That scene was so gruesome.
But the first officer is not in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it came down to, and this is another, I think it was another commentary of privilege. Everyone was deferring to the captain, and somebody should have just went in there and slapped the shit out of him.
Right.
I mean, pardon my French, but it was ridiculous how they let him, like, at one point, did you notice the woman's like, we don't serve wine? And she was the only, was like the younger girl that only one that said no to him the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they got like the microphone, and they're like, the ship's going down, and they're reading like, you know, Nietzsche and all these other things.
They're reading Karl Marx, and they're telling Ronald Reagan jokes, and you know, and then, I mean, at that point, the first officer's got to just kick that door in.
I agree.
And
instead, they go and they try to like pull the fuse, and then they short out the entire ship, except of course for the microphone system kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you. That
was a little too manipulated.
Yeah, like all of a sudden everyone disappears. Like where is the rest of the crew?
So that basically finishes Act 1 and Act 2. What we talked about. Act 3, the ship wrecks, and they wash up on the beach.
Well, the pirates attack it.
Well, yeah, the pirates attack it. That's
with a grenade. Which is another commentary.
The old lady picks it up. She goes, "Oh, well, look at this!
Like, this is like one of your models."
Yeah, and then he's like, "No!" You see a little like that,
and then the whole entire ship's like,
boom, 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 boom. Yeah,
yeah.
So what's funny is, so they all wash up on the shore. Well, I shouldn't say
some of them do.
Only a handful wash up on the shore. I would have thought more people would have survived, but. No. Well,
then and a reason I think that happened there, obviously they implied there's some other chaos happened with the pirates and everything going on, but that one Abigail, the maid, shows
the toilet cleaner
by herself in the one life, like, protected, like, boat with all the food and everything.
Everybody would have run to that, I thought. You know what I mean?
She, like, almost, like, you know, in hindsight, she had to have planned that. She had to, like, have set that up knowing that I'm going to get out and I'm going to stop everyone else. And then she took off and left everyone else on the boat.
Everybody else had life preservers with whistles and lights like you would see. And so some of them washed up. So the couple washes up.
Because they had that one giant raft. Right. The inflatable. Yeah, the couple. The Russian guy.
The Russian guy.
The woman that had a stroke that kept saying the
same
thing over.
The German
you
lady.
felt so sorry for her.
Yeah.
And then the black pirate guy.
Yeah, and then the stewardess, the short blonde stewardess.
And Abigail.
Well,
she wasn't there. Yeah.
Also another single rich guy who was in a tuxedo.
Oh, yeah. The coder.
Yes. The one who was flirting with the two women.
His wife wasn't here, and he was like, "Oh, thank you for taking my picture."
Yes.
Can I buy you a Rolex? So he's like, I've got money. Can I get you a Rolex?
Right. So all of them crash, and before Abigail shows up in her escape sub, it's just everybody else, and so they're all out on the beach. And they have to survive one night, and that's when you hear the sound out in the jungle. So they move, and they leave the paralyzed German woman out
in the middle of the jungle, dealing with whatever that creature
was, right?
And they're all like,
and she can only yell out one thing.
Save mein Bluga! Save mein Bluga!
Get my walker, or something like that.
No, it was go to the clouds in German or something like that.
I thought it said, I need a walker, get my walker. or something like that?
No,
Oh, well.
no. In German, it looked like that.
Oh,
but it was
okay.
they kept saying it in German because that's what she.
Okay.
I don't know why they had to do that. They kept putting the actual literal translation. But somebody had earlier said, "Oh, what does she say at the dinner?" And they're like, "Oh, well, she had a stroke. She can only say like." Go to the clouds.
Oh, go to the clouds.
And so she kept saying, "Go to the clouds, Uli!" But so it was kind of funny because she turned into the Groot character.
Yeah.
It was like Groot.
Yeah.
Groot.
So the next morning, that's when the sub pulls up, or is like found, and they go and they're knocking on there and they're looking in the window and they see it's Abigail. So at first, the blonde lady demands, Abigail, open this up.
Yeah.
She opens it up. Give me the waters. Give me the food. So Abigail's doing as she said because she
acts
does
like
work.
she's walking right off the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they go all over there. They eat food. They drink
Chips,
water. I don't know what the Evian spray is in the mouth. I've never seen
I
that
kept
before.
seeing. I think that was a disinfectant. I think it was like if you're.
No, I think it's a thing that they have in Europe. It's a spray water.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they were going and they were spraying their whole body, but I guess
And
it's
it's
a
by
cooling.
Evian.
Maybe to
Yeah.
spray it.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny because I never saw that before either, and I'm
Yeah.
like, is that like a disinfectant or
Yeah.
something? Like
No.
a COVID related thing?
But at this point, I think, a day or two goes by and like the pretzels are out, and then Abigail finally says, or they see her out
Yeah,
on a
she's
rock.
out hunting,
She jumps
or
in the
fishing.
water.
grabs
Yeah, comes up with a big old fish.
octopus.
Or octopus, that's right. But what I love about this is she comes back, she's the only one who knows how to make a fire. Because she asks everybody,
I know.
do you know how to make a fire?
Anyone know how to make a fire? Like, I'm sorry. If you're on a boat or whatever, I mean, all these people like no idea. Like,
Right.
you've never seen how to make a fire? That was
Dude.
BS.
Dude,
What?
these people have always been waited on their whole lives.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, I'll make the fire. So she makes the fire. She cooks the octopus.
So she just caught it.
Yeah, and then what I love is that she's cutting it up. It's like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Right.
Here's one piece for you. Here's one piece for me. One piece for you. One piece
One
for
for
me.
me.
And she splits it up. And then the blonde woman says, oh,
What's that pile?
yeah, what's that pile? She goes, oh, that's mine. She goes, no, you need to split that up. She's like, no, I did all the work. I built the fire.
I caught the fish. I caught the
fish.
octopus.
And then this is when...
And the guy's like, what? I brought a stick over.
Yeah. So she goes, no, that doesn't work. So
Right. And then
But-
she says, I'm the captain.
yeah, that's when she doesn't say that. She goes, who am I? And then they said, you're the captain. That's when she says, right.
And then she throws him a piece of food.
She throws him a piece, and then she goes to the next person. Who am I? You're the captain. And then she gets to the blonde lady, and the blonde lady has always had this power on this boat, and now she doesn't have this power. So she reluctantly says it, but I think she's like, all like, whatever. But like within a day or two, she's got the blonde lady wrapped around her finger.
Well,
And-
she says to the two
Yeah.
women, why don't you come sleep with me?
Yes.
And
Where it's protected.
Right, and I was kind of thinking, well, that's okay. I understand that. Like, protect the
Yeah.
women. Of course, they left the stroke victim.
I
over
know,
there.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, it turned into very quickly into a. I'm gonna dole out the food. I'm gonna, Well, then she comes back and she finds out the two guys stole the pretzels.
Yeah.
So then they got punished.
This is really bad. This is really, really bad.
And then the punishment turns into the blonde guy has to go to the ship.
Yeah, and sleep with her.
Well, yeah, right. And then his girlfriend's all mad at him the whole time.
He's like,
And
I'm not going to sleep with her. And then he goes, but you might want something in exchange, like, so maybe a kiss. And the girlfriend's like, no, not even a kiss, nothing. He goes, but she might be wanting something. And then the girlfriend breaks down. She goes, okay, just a kiss. Just a kiss.
Oh, yeah. What about a neck rub?
Yeah, a neck rub.
Neck rub.
So it's
Bring
just
me
kind of
food.
funny because even the girlfriend is breaking down in a survival situation. But man,
She now realizes he's the just went up in levels, and you're the one to get me food because remember that he
Yeah.
brings her the pretzels and
you know what? Like, I could see the two rich old men not doing anything. But the guy who was in the engine room, the black guy, then
yeah.
and then the blonde model guy.
Yeah.
They should be out there trying to fish too.
Yeah,
They're
I do
young
agree
guys.
with you. They all like,
Yeah.
because that was one thing that completely collapsed. Like, you're not going to show anybody else how to do anything?
Yes.
I mean, there should have been I'm going to show you how to light the fire. I'm going to show you how to go get the, I mean, that lady basically and they kind of implied it because the Yaya says to Abigail, like, you've created a matriarchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe she was deliberately holding off info, like, well, if you don't know how to do this, then
well,
I'm not going to do it.
And at that point, when she said that, this is when she comes to Abigail one morning and says, "Can I have the backpack? I'm going to go across the mountain and just see what's on the other side of the island." Nobody's done that in however many days they've been there.
Right.
So she goes, "Oh, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you." And she's like, "Okay." But that's when Yaya says that to Abigail, because Abigail's like, "Oh, you don't like me. You probably despise me for what's going on with a boyfriend." And then that's when she says, "Oh,
right.
You created a matriarchy." I think that's so cool. And like, I was trying to think, is she just trying to appease her at the moment, or does she really feel that way?
I kind of thought Yaya was going to actually kill her. I thought she was going to push her off the mountainside in some form or another.
I thought that too.
Yeah. I was kind of like, okay, this is a giant setup.
Right. So they get to the other side and they realize there's a resort on the other side of the island.
Yeah, and that was when also the stroke victim sees that vendor
yeah.
guy. And I thought at first that was a hallucination, because they showed that first before the other scene. I thought that was a hallucination.
That's when
I'm like, wait, huh? What? This is real? What?
My mom laughed out loud so hard with that part.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She goes, "Reminds me of when we went to Jamaica." But
probably in relief that it was like a comedic moment for all that part. Yes.
So that's when, Yaya and Abigail, they find the resort, and so Abigail's like, let's go in together. She goes, "Wait."
No, Yaya says that, let's go in together.
Yeah, and then Abigail says, "Wait, let's have a moment to think."
And then they hold each other, and they're like, Yaya's petting her and all that, and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of a tender moment that they've never had previously. And I kept thinking, is she going to stab her right now? Is she going to kill? I kept thinking the Abigail was going to kill her at that point.
So at this point, I didn't think Abigail was going to kill her.
No?
I kind of moved off that. But I could tell that Yaya was going to kill Abigail. I moved off of Yaya killing Abigail. But I could definitely tell that Abigail didn't like the fact that she knew that once they walked through that, everything she built, all this power she has, this relationship she has with this hot young guy, that's all going to go away. As soon as they walk through there.
The pyramid, the triangle, is completely going to go upside down.
Yep. And so she excuses herself to use the restroom, but she's thinking. She's thinking, and she just
not use the restroom to go pee in the. Well, I mean, there was no formal restroom.
No, I meant that as a verb.
Sorry.
I didn't mean like a place.
Yeah.
So while she's up there, like on this little cliff, she's thinking. She just sees Yaya just sitting there,
watching, knowing that her life is now about to return back to normal.
So she grabs a rock. Abigail does. She comes up, and then she has a moment where she thinks, but then she pulls it back up again, and then it's...
Well, and also, remember what Yaya was saying.
What was Yaya saying?
Yaya was saying, like, oh, you could... Because this scene was like, oh, yeah, I mean, like, it'll be great we come back, and I know you're, something about, like, you don't have a lot of money.
Right.
Would you love it if you could be my personal assistant and come along and help me in all these other ways?
And that's when I really think Abigail's like, I don't want to return to that life, right?
But it's open-ended!
Yeah. So she comes up, and it blacks out for a second.
With a big rock, and she's about to, and then you're not sure.
And then the movie ends with Carl just running through the jungle. Now, at first I'm like, what's he running through? But I think what happens is, when they left, he's sitting there, and he thought, why would Abigail want to go with Yaya so bad? And I think he realized she's going to kill her. And that's when he takes off running through the jungle. but you never know what happens after that because
Right.
that's the end of the movie.
All gets ended in a
Yeah.
choose your own adventure type
Yeah.
scenario. Now, here's a question: did Carl know that the Rolex vendor guy had shown up? Because that's part of that whole thing.
Maybe.
They made it ambiguous. So if he saw that guy, he knew they were on a resort. So
And
maybe
maybe-
yes, he was like, "Uh-oh."
So then
earlier-
you can interpret this early. So, anyways, maybe he's running just to tell them, hey guys.
No, he was too desperate. It's different. My take on this is that the resort guy showed up. He realized that previously, when Abigail and Yaya were discussing things when he was still there, and she's like, "Oh, we'll just go together." I think he knew she was going to kill her.
See, I don't think it dawned on him at first.
I think because there was a lot of like consternation going on where he was like, "Look, like, oh, what am I going to do?" I think he knew Abigail was going to go and kill her.
I mean, it's all within.
I know, it's all up to
beholder.
everyone's interpretation.
Yeah.
And so I think he knew that, and
Yeah.
then he realized that, wait, no, everything's changing because we're on a resort island. So
Yeah.
he was trying to stop that from happening still.
We shall never know.
So I know.
That's
well,
the thing.
and then, but there is a press conference where the actors were there that I went and looked at this, and they specifically asked the actress that played Abigail and she was next to Carl.
Okay.
And then the director, and then Yaya over here, the actress, and she's like, "So did Abigail kill her?" And she looks at the director, and she's like, "Well, he gave me permission to actually say this," and he says like, "Yes, I knocked her skull out with the stone." Is the way it ended. The same way the burro died.
Wow.
So. And the actress was all like, "But I'm not Abigail." She was a big jokey thing with the press conference. But it's like, but that's what happened. It was that, yeah, I clocked her.
See, I would have, if I was the director, I would have told the actresses, "You don't know what happened."
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what's your interpretation?
Right.
And then maybe you can ask the actress, "What do you think happened?"
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say for sure.
Go
this
ahead and
happened.
do it.
Yeah.
Well. In this particular case, Abigail loved, and this is the perfect power corrupts power, absolutely comment.
Right.
Because as soon as she was like in charge of everything, that was it. And then the one thing though that was still, going back to what you said, it's like, why would these like alpha males, which they reference, Yaya says,
they're not really alpha males.
Well, she made a reference to like, you've subdued all the alpha males or whatever,
Right.
and I agree with you on that. But it's like, well, they literally did nothing the whole entire frickin' time. Like, you're not going to learn how to fish. You're not going to do fire. You're not going to I guess, except they did go and kill the donkey.
Yeah.
Which was an extremely sad
that was
scene.
the old man that did that.
No, it was the coder.
Yeah, the old man in the tuxedo.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Because there was two old.
Yeah,
So.
So
Yeah.
So that was, God, there was so many.
Yeah.
That was one of many gruesome things in this movie. But yeah, I mean that, and I almost had to like turn the volume. I mean, I couldn't deal with that sound. That was just ridiculous. Beating a donkey to senseless. But anyways,
So in the end, I liked the movie. I mean,
it did cut 30 minutes out of the movie. I liked it a lot more.
45 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah.
It would have made it much more concise. I think my score might have gone up by like another
I agree.
half a point.
It was purely execution.
Yeah.
That was the problem that drove this down because they just could not get out of like, why do we need to see 15 minutes of the two of them arguing about a dinner bill?
Yeah.
Like, cut it down to 2.
Yeah. So yeah, I that's my biggest complaint. It's just way too long, over bloated speeches. You know what I mean? And discussions that maybe give it a little bit, a modicum of more real worldness, but not necessary. Not necessary for this movie. So, but I liked it. I would like to hear what the Cult Lords viewers think, because I think this is, watching my parents like just totally, like my dad, zero. I mean, they just hated this movie.
They went all the way through to the end.
Yeah, they went all the way through. Wow. But I could see how other people would hate this movie. You know what I mean? And it's
funny because the Rotten Tomatoes scores, to your point, I mean, I would have thought the common audience, what do you want to call it?
The audience,
the
fans.
audience, the regular fans. I would have thought they were much lower than what you said. I mean,
68.
that surprised me. 68. I would have thought critics. I would have thought higher. Audience, I would have thought lower. Because, you know, most people... And maybe that's because when people have seen this movie in trailers and stuff, they realize, okay, it's more the arty crowd, or what do you want to call it, that want to go and see this.
Well, but you know what? They show a lot of funny moments in the trailer.
In the trailer, yes.
So you might think, oh my gosh, this is going to be 2 hours.
All the throwing
slapstick
up.
comedy.
And the toilet's exploding.
And it's not. And the comedy that they do have, it's very dark humor. So thanks very much if you just subscribe. And like I said, we will give you a shout out on the next video. And I promise you, our videos, they won't make you throw up. They won't make you throw up like this movie.
You do not want that.
No, definitely.
There.
All right. Well, Dane, how do you want to get us out of here?
Oh, well, again, we want your boat to keep straight, not rocking and everything, but if this YouTube channel doesn't work out, by the way.
Oh, you mean if we don't get subscribers?
If we don't get subscribers,
okay, right.
Then you can always come work for me. You didn't know this, but I'm a rich oligarch. All right, everybody, I want to give everyone an excellent triangle of peace, triangle of out.